And now we continue with the large-scale paintings. And I want to invite Hilkka Hiiop on stage. Hilkka, as you know, is rector of the some academy, Estonian Academy of Arts. And she's also in the Kanut Center of Conservation and Digitalization. And she will embody the triumph of Venus and present about it, yes. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, thank you so much. And now I'm not director, but conservator. Okay, and we will do our presentation in two, and actually we have a third presenter as well on the stage. Her. And afterwards you understand, yeah. Change glasses, sorry, my age, you know. Anyhow, in our presentation we will give you a brief overview of one of the most remarkable discoveries in Estonian heritage. It's a 60 square meters canvas plafond dating from late 17th century. But let us start with the building from which it originates, and actually Theodora and Siiri already were talking about the building, but just shortly that actually the building has two main construction phases. A Baroque section from the late 17th century and a historicist reconstruction from the mid-19th century. Up is the Baroque one and down is the historicist one. The room we were invited to work is located in the Baroque part of the building. And actually the walls, it's marked on green, and the walls of the room feature just a modest neoclassical wall paintings that we were supposed to work with. However, since the room was covered by a later mid-19th century ceiling, we became curious. What happened to the original Baroque ceiling? And we received permission to make a hole into it. The surprise was great when it turned out that beneath the later ceiling there was a canvas. And even greater when we saw some traces of figurative paintings peeking out under the fallen layers of lime. After long debate with various parties, it was decided to remove the painting from the ceiling and to restore it. What followed was a process which was the most exciting, complex, and logistically challenging project at least in my life. And initially hidden beneath the layers of lime wash and structural beams, as you see here, and later covered by 19th century ceiling, the painting had remained unknown for centuries.
The painting consists of 9 canvas panes, each about 85 centimeters and 8 meters long. Unlike other plafonds in Estonia, the canvas panes were not sewn together. Instead, they were placed side by side with a slight overlap along the edges, and as you can see on the pictures, attached directly to the ceiling boards with iron nails driven through the canvas. The presence of painted nail heads indicates that the painting was executed in situ. Because the canvas was affixed directly to the unfinished ceiling boards, we can be almost certain that this is the first decorative layer and that the painting dates back to the building of the house. Here you can see some pictures of the dismantling of this huge painting.
And once we had transported the paints to the studio and laid them out on the floor, a sense of panic and huge responsibility set in. We had initiated an incredibly complex and resource-intensive undertaking, yet we had no clear idea how much of the painting has actually been preserved. Since we also had very limited time for the conservation, less than a year before the building was due to open, we mobilized maximum resources, integrating the work with the curriculum of conservation students and working days and nights. I clearly remember myself the first cleaning tests when from beneath the thick layer of lime a remarkably well-preserved painting began to emerge of exceptionally high quality in our context. A leg, a breast.
The most time-consuming and technically difficult part of the conservation process was the removing of the many layers of lime wash. Because oil paint and lime do not bond strongly and reacts differently to during cleaning, it was not that difficult to reveal the figurative painting on oil. In contrast, in contrast, the ornamental areas along were much more challenging to preserve and clean. Here you can still see the oil parts, but this is the distempera parts. Over the centuries, the moisture and dirt had seriously damaged the water-sensitive distempera. In addition, both the original paint and the lime wash covering it were water-soluble, which made this task much more difficult than cleaning the oil parts. Luckily, there weren't too many losses to the canvas, although there were thousands of nail holes that all needed to be repaired. As routine, we carried out consolidation and covered the oil parts with varnish. Because of the nature of the two types of painting techniques used, a twofold retouching strategy was adopted. That means that the smaller losses in the oil-painted areas were fully retouched, as you can see here, but the larger damages where the original appearance could not be reliably reconstructed, they were left visible. These temper-painted sections received only minimal retouching with watercolors, although we did reconstruct digitally the destroyed parts.
Yeah. After the conservation was completed in the studio, the delicate giant had to be returned to its original location. The paints could only be reassembled on site, as transporting the fully joined 60 square meter artwork would have been impractical. From the very beginning, considerable discussion focused on how the canvas should be reattached to the ceiling. Replicating the original technique would have required attaching nails through the 17th century painting, an invasive method deemed unacceptable. Ultimately, a custom-designed elastic stretcher was selected. To do that, we had to glue the paints together on site, which was once again a complex logistical process. Initial alignment and joining were carried out with the painting facing upward to ensure the continuity of the imaginary. The paints were then turned over and joined from behind. The procedure proved to be one of the most technically demanding phases of the entire restoration, as rotating 8-meter paints required constant problem-solving and meticulous coordination. The stretcher itself is made of aluminium, and the tension is applied using springs. In total, 147 springs around the perimeter of the painting. And for more detailed information about the stretcher, you can read in the proceedings of the conference, there is an article by stretcher master Edgar Umblia.
The final mounting of the painting, I will start the video, so you can see why we were very nervous about this part. The final mounting of the painting to the ceiling was the most anticipated and the most feared moment of the project. Until the last minute, we didn't know for certain if the complex, long-planned engineering solution would function as intended. Before the big day, many of us had nightmares about it. Luckily, the system of ropes, pulleys, and support structures performed exactly as designed, allowing the plafond to be successfully reinstalled in its historic location. The 163-kilogram stretcher provided the necessary stability for the secure installation of the 45-kilogram canvas plafond. The plafond was mounted in October 2024, and as you can see, everything was filmed.
So, also a wide range of scientific analysis was undertaken during the conservation process, including microscopy, the different imaging techniques, but also thorough archival and art historical research. Based on this, we know that the painting dates from the time of construction of the house, meaning it was completed no later than 1694. The subject depicted is the triumph of Venus, originating from antiquity. But however, what we do not know is the author of the painting. One thing we are certain of is that it is not a local artist, as at that time there were no masters working here in Estonia who would have been capable of producing a painting of such quality. But since the time for the presentation is so limited, we will only demonstrate one particularly interesting study here. For precise documentation, photogrammetric measurements were used to generate a high-resolution DEM or digital elevation model. When the paints returned to the Nobility house, numerous deformations were still clearly detectable both by eye and in the DEM model. Only after the canvas was fully stretched on the tensioning frame did it finally straighten, eliminating distortions and wrinkles. And here, before and after. Yeah. Nice before and after. The discovery generated significant media and public interest, drawing many visitors, both to the conservation studio and to the site itself. As is our custom, we also made several lovely souvenirs. Some you can see here, and on the couch, and Hilkka's dress, of course. Our favorites are the pillows, of course, which we have at home. The conservation project also culminated in publication of the book The Triumph of Venus, the documentary film Ajapuudutus, A Touch of Time, and a short video documentation that is shown at the Knighthood House of Nobility. But most importantly for myself, it also produced my master's thesis. So, the discovery, conservation and reinstallation of the Triumph of Venus constitute an exceptional achievement in Estonian heritage preservation. As the earliest firmly dated canvas plafond and the largest known surviving example, the work significantly enriches our understanding of Baroque interior painting practices in Estonia. Thank you.
Yeah, first of all, I apologize for not introducing Kaisa Milsaar, sorry, just okay. Yeah, and thank you very much. I had prepared question if these are the details of the painting. No, sorry. My question is the publicity and the media attention and public attention throughout the process is a huge discovery. Does it help or it disturbs the process? What is your experience?
My experience, as I have quite a long experience in kind of making the publicity, let's say, to our field, I always feel it important, but after 20 years I'm a bit like tired of it. But in this time it was very particular as it was really made a documentary film by two young documentary makers, and then they were basically constantly with us. But we got so used to them that we almost didn't realize, so it's, yeah. But I think, in my opinion, it rather helps.
Yeah, thank you. I think discoveries like this should be documented anyway. We have all the possibilities to do that, and yes, thank you. It's amazing, and I believe there will be questions from the audience.
No.
No questions.
No questions.
No questions.
There is one.
There's one. Thank you.
Ruta from Vilnius Restoration Center. I would like to ask about the stretcher. Did someone construct for you, or it's at a firma made, or how it was?
Yes, actually it's pity. The master supposed to make also a presentation here, but he couldn't. But it's an article. He published an article in Proceedings. He's Edgar Umbliand, and he's the stretcher and frame master in Estonia, but it's first time to him as well, because it's internationally quite well known or used, this elastic stretchers. But in Estonia we made it first time, so it was really like experience for us as well, and we consulted a lot with some friends of us who have experience, Italians who have long-term experience in that, and so that was very like, and they were also engineers among us, and so we are not only joking, we also make a serious studies.
Yeah, and
Thank you very much.
Related question with the stretcher. It's not fixed somewhere in the middle, just the perimeter. Mm-hmm. So how does this hang? It has like
it is. It's canvas, yeah. But it's around 20 centimeters, and in the beginning we also monitored how it's and it's first days, because we actually made two or three trials first, how much it how you call it in English? No,
bending.
We know, yeah, we understand. And then so it's first like a few centimeters it still went, but now it's stable.
Are you going to revisit if the dust gathers upstairs there from the top? Because it's, it's like a good place to gather.
Yeah, but it's, the ceiling is made so many layers of they really made, because it's a statehood house nowadays, and they made really like very serious ceiling with the fireproof layers and everything. So actually the people who are coming to visit the Nobility house with us on Saturday, will show you actually it's pity the ceiling came like more than almost like about half meter lower than original. Because they are supposed to make all these security layers, as it's so important, the house, it's most important building in Estonia right now, and all the foreign visitors, important, natives, governments are going there, and so it's like...
But there's still possibility to
Yeah,
remove.
it's
and-
very, we counted everything. Actually, with strobe, you see, we put it up, and it's, we calculated it takes it takes a bit time, but like 2 hours to take it down. It's very precisely documented. It's just a few screws, and then to basically to make a reverse procedure. So it's possible, quite easy to take it down. And this is also like counted, and we monitor the painting every year. We did already first monitoring recently, and how it, the canvas and then how the paint layer, etc., because it's in a living environment. And there is no climate control, not this special requirements like in the goat farm rooms, and then people are visiting the room.
Thank you. Anyone else? Here? Over there?
Yes, thank you very much for your presentation. It's a huge, really I'm impressed. And I would like to ask you about the mortar, about the ground. So it was the same kind of the ground in the medallion parts, or if the bigger part of the ornamental one?
You mean that under the oil,
mortar, the mortar kind.
Under the oil, and was it there was very thin, almost not existing ground layer. So both, but to be honest, I don't remember. Was it different? I think it wasn't. Yeah, it was almost non-existing ground layer, let's say. Yeah, but anyhow, it's we didn't give much of also conservation. We didn't consciously. We didn't give much technical data. If somebody wants to read, it's in the publication. It's more precise information.
So I mean, it was the same preparation for a whole.
As far as I remember, it's the same preparation because they made it all. It's made on site. Yeah. So just imagine they started with a raw canvas to nail the raw canvas and prepare, and then it's logical. It's the same, and
Okay. Thank you for
but
answer.
Good question. We'll check it out.
No, it's very interesting because the mortar are very significating in the Baroque period of its red or very thin, different colors, and I'm just wondering how it was.
Check it out. Maybe Thomas, you remember? You made them.
There was a question over there, somebody? Where? Here in the front, in the second row. Lucas.
So fascinating work, just amazing, astonishing. My question, maybe I over-listened and just didn't pay that attention, but how did you, how the canvases next to other is being attached, what did you use?
Let me show you.
About that.
No, how the canvases are attached. We had a photo, or series of photo. You mean the canvas? How we put them together?
Yeah. In the final. Like,
here you more or less see, but we used Beva film. Beva film and canvas, quite wide canvases, pieces of canvases, because we consciously also decided not to line it completely, but it's, almost 1/3 is lined. But we had just 3 days on site to do it, so.
But I guess you still made a huge counting, because the weight and the stretching itself, when what you said only on the corners it's being stretched?
Yeah, the perimeter only.
Yeah, only
Wow,
perimeter.
but the loads should be very big.
Yeah, how much we weighed it, but that's why it's. I mean, it's like 1/3 of the piece is lined, so called. But we also put the strips in the middle from other side to keep it in both sides.
You can see it a bit here.
Would you say that this is the? Would you say that it's? Well, I imagine that maybe it's the weakest parts. No?
Yeah, but probably, yeah, can be, yeah. But we were discussing a lot if to align it fully or not to do. But the canvas itself, the original, was very strong. But so many paintings which are bigger than that, and they are without attaching in the middle. In Italy, if you imagine, how many paintings are just along the perimeter. Yeah.
And we did some tests before when we glued two canvases together and used a lot of force to try to tear them apart. So that also.
But certainly, yeah, we are quite aware of the aspect you brought out. But it seems, no, history shows, and if something happened, we monitor, we let it down, and then do something different.
Thank you so much.
There was one more question somewhere.
Here? Do you still have your question on the second row?
Hello. Thank you for your presentation. I'm just interested in the digital world, and a couple slides back you had, or you said in your presentation that you use digital retouching. I don't know if it's the right word. Did you do it in, did you do it in Photoshop or, okay, yeah.
Just one of our students, just a simple Photoshop, it's just repeating the, yeah.
Okay. Have you thought about AI doing it or some samples?
Maybe Rasmus used AI. I don't know. Maybe he did AI, used the AI. We just said, do it. And we didn't ask. But I think he took just from in Photoshop because you see it's actually each of the inserted painting fields in the ornament, yeah, they should be different, but he just took one which was missing and repeated.
It would be cool to show where are the digital retouching done, because right now I can't tell, and I think it's really good job actually. But yeah,
that's why we have this to compare.
Yeah.
Slowly.
Thank you.
No more questions? Thank you, ladies. Perfect.